Hey everyone, welcome to another limited color palette video. Today we are going to use these three colors to paint a sketch. This is Hansa Yellow Medium, Permanent Alizarin Crimson, and Cobalt Blue Deep. As usual, let's start by painting some color swatches and possible color mixtures you can get from these three colors before we move on to painting the sketch. So this is Daniel Smith's version of Hansa Yellow Medium, which is PY97. The ink has not dried yet, unfortunately. The next color I have is Permanent Alizarin Crimson, also from Daniel Smith. This is a mixture of three pigments, PR177, PV19, and PR149. Ink is not dry here as well. The last color is a Cobalt Blue Deep from this brand called Old Holland. So there was someone on YouTube who asked me how I choose these random colors that I use for these limited color palette videos. Well, I actually choose them randomly. I don't have a pattern or any formula to choosing them. I just want to test out the color combinations that are possible. So now I'm mixing Cobalt Blue Deep with Hansa Yellow Medium. You may already have your favorite color mixtures, but sometimes it's good to explore other color combinations as well. Who knows, you may find some color mixtures that you really love. And now let's mix Cobalt Blue Deep with a little bit of Permanent Alizarin Crimson. With more Alizarin Crimson. This is Permanent Alizarin Crimson, and now let's mix this with Hansa Yellow Medium. This is Hansa Yellow Medium with a little bit of Permanent Alizarin Crimson. And now let's mix the three colors together to see what kind of grays we can get. This is a bit warm, so let me add a bit more blue to it. Let's see if we can get a black if we use a lot of paint. Let me use more Cobalt Blue. I think it's dark enough. The color swatches have almost dried, so let's take a closer look. Hansa Yellow Medium and Permanent Alizarin Crimson, they are pretty vibrant. Cobalt Blue Deep from Old Holland, this is less intense than I expected. And the color mixes that I created, they are a bit more subdued compared to other limited color palettes that I have tested so far. Let me show you the other palettes that I have. So you can see here, the blues very strong, the purples very strong, the orange not as intense. And here, the orange is better. We get better greens as well, but the purple here, it's a bit more subdued, a bit dull compared to this. But the color mixes here, they are brighter, more intense compared to what I have here. So this is the sketch that I'm going to paint, and this is the reference photo that I have used. So I see a lot of greens. That means I will have to mix a lot of greens with the yellow and the blues. For the clouds, I'll be using the three colors mixed together. There are some vibrant colors like maybe the signboard here and this signboard here. The fruits, they are very vibrant as well. There is this yellow and red umbrella here and this red car here. So for all these very strong colors, maybe I will just use the colors straight from the tube. So that's basically my plan. I shall start by painting yellow first. Now this paint here, this is actually Daniel Smith watercolor stick that I have pressed into this Kuretake Gansai Tambi pen. So let me just paint with the yellow. Next up will be the green. I'm going to use a very big brush. This is a squirrel brush to paint the large areas. So this is Hansa Yellow mixed with Cobalt Blue Deep. Let me just try and make sure that I paint over all the areas that are supposed to be green. And for the clouds, it's going to be a mix of the three. This building behind is going to be a bit darker. This is also a mix of the three colors. Let me drop in a little bit cobalt blue here. And now let's use cobalt blue to paint some of the areas with blue. Oops, this signboard is supposed to be red color, but never mind, I'll just swap this around later on. The guy with the blue jeans, and now with the reds. And now let's mix a darker shade of green for this part, this parts, and this part, and the windows. So I need to use a lot of blue for this green. Here as well. Before I paint the blacks, I'm going to paint the skin tones for these people here. Let's start here first. I'm going to paint the shadow areas. I'm going to paint the shape of the car. Now this car is going to be a bit difficult to paint because it's really small. Actually, the cars, they are not really recognizable now. Anyway, doesn't matter. Alright, for this part here, the contrast is not very strong because of the color blending, so I'm going to maybe make this part black to give it an edge against the building in the background. So it was a red bag, but now it's not. And this guy, he's wearing a black t-shirt, but for the sake of contrast, I'm going to give him a white t-shirt. Very challenging to paint all these little details here. A small brush would be better. There is this building here that is darker compared to this building in front, so I want to paint that shape. And all these parts here, they are going to be black. These are the difficult parts to paint for me, because you need to paint very carefully within the white areas to make sure that the shape is recognizable, basically. I'm going to let this guy have a white t-shirt or something that is lighter. Basically, I just work my way across from left to the right. And now I'm going to touch up the sketch with some colored inks. This is the completed sketch. So let's compare with the reference photo. Now straight away at a glance I can tell that some values are a bit off. Like for example this building here, this is much darker compared to this when compared to the sky. And for my sky, my edges are a bit hard compared to the clouds here, which are actually soft edges. So to get soft edges you actually have to blend the colors, or you can use the tissue to take out the edges before the wash is dry. But usually for me, when I'm working outdoors, I'm a bit lazy to go and take out the edges. So for the green, it's quite similar. So this is Hansa yellow medium, with cobalt blue dip. For the greens, this actually looks quite similar compared to this. As for this green here, this is warmer compared to this. To get this green, you will need a phthalo blue, a blue that is cooler. And this green, I would say, are pretty similar, but not that similar, if you know what I mean. So for the fruits that they are selling, I used vibrant colors from the tube without much mixing. And for the dark areas here, the shadow areas, the black parts, I used a mixture of the three colors, but with more of the cobalt blue because it's darker. I can get the darker values quicker. For the left side, the shapes in the background, they are a bit jumbled out because I was painting a bit too loosely. And for this person here, I basically flipped the person to look to the right side instead of looking to the left side. If this person is like this, he will be walking out of the scene, but I want the person to be walking into the scene. The shapes of the cars, now they are not distinguishable because I was a bit too lazy to paint the shapes. But for this building here, I managed to get the shape properly. So you can see the sharp edges. This is a pretty distinct shape versus this building that is in front versus this building here. And these are the little details added on with the white gel pen and the ink pens. Drawing lines with the white gel pen, it's really useful. It would be very difficult to paint this using other methods. Sometimes I'm a bit more patient. I can paint within the lines to get the proper shapes, but sometimes I'm a bit lazy and I cannot paint within the lines. So the mixes from this limited color palette, it's a bit more subdued, which is fine because sometimes you want the colors to be a bit more subdued or dull. And when they are placed against vibrant colors, you get that contrast. Like for example, the black parts here, the gray parts here, when placed beside the bright yellows and the intense red, you get that contrast. To watch more drawing tutorials, you can check out my YouTube playlist or support me on Patreon, where there are almost close to 100 full-length tutorials that I've created to date. Oh, this, by the way, is a pencil sketch, so later on I need to spray some fixative to protect the graphite. And that's all for my video today. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. I hope this video is helpful. See you in the next video. Bye!